Rachel, very rarely do we have the privilege to have a program transformation director that's been through a whole S4 program end to end. And we do get asked a lot of questions around ROI and the benefit. And at the minute, there's a lot of businesses that are doing business cases and they're falling down, and it all comes back to cost and ROI. Now, you've been through that 3.5-year program. It's a successful program. What would be your message to customers that are just about to embark on the journey, and more specifically around ROI, cost benefits to the business, real tangible stuff like that? Yeah.
It's like probably not as relevant to the work I've just done, but I've seen it many times before when you look to roll out these big ERPs or S4HANA, and the business cases are written, but they're not, especially if you're rolling out globally. The connects aren't always necessarily made to the local market. So there are assumptions made about the benefits that will drive in your local market, right? And they haven't necessarily always got the buy-in from the local market to execute those benefits.
That's so interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So the business case gets written, signed off. Everyone thinks they're going to save, I don't know, X million. The technology is fine. That all works. Often there's challenges with processes as well. So that's another thing that you've got to, anyway, so there's process and technology that need to match together. That's another challenge. But when it comes to then landing in the organization, if, say, the market leader hasn't bought in to the benefit realization of whatever, so let's say it's X number of people, then that won't happen.
Yeah.
Because the control of, who are the accountable people for making the decisions as well that execute against what was said in the business case. So, I've seen that happen. And then it's interesting then because it always varies in different companies about the accountability for that as well. So if the accountability sits somewhere centrally, but the executor, like I've said, is a local market, then there's no direct correlation.
Yeah,
if you have that direct correlation, it's easier because then that accountability filters down and it's kind of a little bit more enforced. So it becomes like someone's objective, right? So therefore they will follow through on that. So I think, I actually think it's the original business case and the intent that was set up, and ensuring that if you are banking benefits in there, that the people who actually have to make them happen are bought into that and understand it. And if they don't, then there needs to be a real honest conversation, so that, the business case doesn't then blow out at the end.
Sure. So more of a bottom-up approach as opposed
to... on that. And I definitely think that I often hear about technology implementations, the cost doubling from what's in the business case, right? So again, I think, these are always difficult things to get off the ground. So people will always want to try and take a pragmatic view, let's just say, of the cost. And I think that's fair. But equally, you don't want to be so unrealistic. But then I think that also comes down to good project and excellence in project management and being ruthless on risks and issues and making sure that you're looking ahead, solving issues before they come so your costs don't blow out, right?
Yeah.
Because that's often where it happens, is things go wrong and therefore you need to have, the team for another 5 months or something, and that's where the extra cost comes in. And again, maybe you've not engaged very well with your local market, which means that there are nuances you didn't know about, and then you spend time working through all of that. So I guess what I'm saying is the overall thing is, if you get it right at the beginning, your business case, your requirements, your engagement with the right people, the pragmatic but realistic approach, the right accountability, then you should set yourself up for success. But I think, the beginning is really critical to get all of that worked through correctly so that you can execute what you said you're going to do.